The Amazing Spider-Man edition number 87 is out, and I can say I enjoyed this one a lot more, but I think I might be a Ben Riley hater. I don't know if it's because, like I told you guys, I started on edition 75 and up, and edition 75 was pretty much Peter going into a coma and Ben Riley taking the reins and beyond treating Ben Riley like crap. And we're here now after Ben Riley just had his mind wiped after his discovery of what Doc Ock did, or what Doc Ock found on Beyond. This edition starts with Steve Rogers and Felicia Harding, the bae of my life, wife. They're sitting in a bar and Felicia is just throwing back chicken nuggets. I know that serves no purpose here. They're discussing on Peter wanting to come back and be Spider-Man, but he's not ready. And essentially, these are going to be the two that put him through the ringer to get him ready. And honestly, it's pretty funny with how they do it. Felicia was told by MJ, here's the suit. And Felicia said, he's not ready. And Felicia holds on to the suit while training Peter with Steve or Captain America. And Peter's first day is just him in his ESU shirt, blue jeans, and his web shooters on his wrist. And it just starts out with him saying, give me the suit. I'm Spider-Man. And they're on a roof and a billboard is to the left of them. And Black Cat points at it and says, not really. Currently, he's Spider-Man. And Peter gets it. Peter realizes his body is not where it was before the coma. He's been in a bed. He's hardly been walking, and he's just struggling. So from that early perspective, they then teeter to Ben Riley at the Beyond Corporation, and they do a test, a memory test, essentially. And they show him pictures of villains. And the first one's Hobgoblin. He starts naming Venom, Vermin, Vulture, and so on and so on. He gets a Dr. Octopus. Nothing hits the radar crazy. So we move on from there. Day 2, it's Peter in a crop top of Felicia, jeans or sweatpants, and a brown paper bag mask over his face. Because again, he doesn't have the suit. The Day 2 test with Black Cat and Peter is the finesse and the swinging. Because Black Cat is, a very elegant swinger, and so is Peter Parker. And they're trying to get that back down for Peter. And one thing that stood out to me was when Peter was saying that, I don't appreciate you testing me. I've been swinging like Spider-Man since I was a kid. And Felicia says, or I keep calling her Felicia, Black Cat, but Felicia Harding. Yeah, but you're not a kid anymore, Spider-Man. You're an adult who's barely past a potentially career-ending injury. Say that 5 times fast with me. So basic fundamentals. They're trying to get him back to basics, essentially. He doesn't realize that this could have killed him, Peter. And although his mind is telling him, I want to do this, I used to do this, I used to do that, his body isn't letting him yet. And Cap and Black Cat know that. The next portion of that quote is basic fundamentals. You're swinging like Eddie Brock. No style, no finesse, just trying not to fall. Don't think that I can't tell you you're one missed whip away from becoming street pizza. And in Peter's head, he says, and then that moment ends, and I know that she's right. Luckily, you've got me, though, Felicia says to Peter, because the Black Cat is the swingingest there is. And literally in Day 2, Peter realizes, I'm not doing what I used to be able to do. I can't do what I used to be able to do. And it kind of resonates with him. Again, Day 1 was nothing. Day 2, they're swinging, trying to get the feel back. We go into Day 3, and it's, them swinging again, and Felicia's just like, you got to be better than yesterday. Every day we have to get better. There's going to be setbacks. And Felicia swings into a restaurant, and as smooth as can be. Doesn't hit anything, break anything. And here comes Peter in a flannel shirt, white tee, jeans, and a bag over his head, crashing in. And so Peter's struggling. Peter's winded on Day 4 when they're doing their things. She's got to catch him. And you kind of see he's realizing, I'm not where I thought I was. I can't just pick this back up again. So I'm really appreciating that they're going back into all this. I'm not going to summarize every page here, but essentially we go into Peter kind of, I wouldn't say admitting, but realizing that he's at square one right now. He can do it still from an easy standpoint, but if somebody's life was on the line, Peter could not do it. So we transition back into the Beyond Lab, where we have Maxine and Dr. Kafka in an interrogation room. Maxine is interrogating Kafka because Kafka was the one that was like, to Ben, said, hey, I don't trust Beyond either. They can't listen to these conversations because I signed something and they signed something, which was all BS because Maxine is the head. And Maxine told Kafka, like, I just, let's stop this show. Maxine is obviously a bad person here. Give me what I want and do what I say. And Kafka's like, I'm a person, I have rights. And Maxine brings up, you're a clone of the original Dr. Kafka. It's kind of hard to say how many rights you have here because everybody thinks Dr. Kafka's that. So they keep going on. The Beyond stuff, they're taking a break, but something big is coming here. They go on a little more about that. And Maxine is like, if you don't want to play ball, I know another clone that can, saying they can get rid of this Dr. Kafka and create another Maxine. So their kind of conversation is short-lived. On day 5 of training with Peter, Black Cat brings these two huge guys. Well, one huge guy that was in the army that meets Cap and was like, you were an inspiration to me, and another kind of small, random, scrawny guy. And Felicia was like, you ready for the training, Peter? And they're like, yeah. And she was like, all right. They hop in a car. They're like, well, you got to catch us because we just robbed a bank. And the 3 of them just robbed a bank. And that's their training. And obviously, Peter and Cap look at each other and they're off to it. They didn't think that there was going to be some real action here. From there, we come back to Ben Reilly. And he's still reading off his test, being asked, who are these people? So he goes, Shriek, Rhino, Shocker, Craven, Lizard, and then Carrion comes, and he has it's this purple haze. That purple haze that was in the last edition of the memory is breaking more than it should break, that they couldn't control what they were wiping from him. So Ben is really going through it. I think they're mind controlling the mess out of him. Day 6 of Peter's training turns into Black Cat sitting on the sun and Peter and Steve Rogers sparring. Peter's kind of holding back and tells Cap he's not ready. He's like, this is as fast as I can currently go. And Cap says, as fast as you can go right now. You're used to being Spider-Man, son. You're not there yet, but we'll get you there. I know everyone's sick of my war stories by now, but I tell you this, I saw a lot of young men then who weren't ready and who paid the price for it. So again, it's back to Peter saying, I can't do it. Now he's saying he can't do it. He is giving up, what seems like. Cap gives him the lecture, says, this is where you're at right now. We're going to keep going. We're going to get you through this, da-da-da-da-da. So they continue sparring. Cap's like, you got to land a nice hit on me. This was the next portion, the turning point of this for Ben Reilly, and I'm going to give my thoughts on this at the very end of this, was they're taking the little mind thing off, the little brainwave thing off his head. The doctor tells Ben, you must be ready to go. The doctor then says, like you said the other day, with great power, there must also come. Ben looks at the doctor funny, and that purple thing is behind Ben again. He goes, I don't get it. With great power, there must also come what? So they did a little damage to Ben's head while they were wiping Doc Ock out of there. But it was just crazy. I don't know. I have a thought of where Ben's story ends here, and I'm going to get into that at the very end of this. But for now, I want to touch up on Peter's last night with Felicia and Cap. Peter says, I've always been good at school. Tests, exams, whatever. It's always been my thing, but this one's killing me. I feel my ligaments creaking, my joints shuddering, my heart hammering. I'm not ready, but I have to be if I want to be Spider-Man. 2 burglars, no problem. The 2 burglars are pretend Cap and Black Cat. No problem for Spider-Man. No problem. And he gets punched in the face by Black Cat. Then he gets put in a headlock by Steve Rogers. That was a good hit, but you're not getting out of this one. And Peter says, Uncle. He taps out. He essentially taps out. and he starts choking, and Felicia and Steve take off their masks. They're like, "You okay, Spider? Take a minute, son. We'll run it again when you're ready." And they have this look of shock. And Peter goes, "I can see it on their faces. They're disappointed, second guessing themselves and me. I should have done better. I have to do better." And Peter says out loud, this is the turning point for Peter. This is when they know he's going to get it. He says, "Never give up. I'm good. Let's go again." Throughout the day, the 6-7 days of them training, he's given up. He had to stop. And the final scene with them, he says, "Because I'm Spider-Man." And it's Cap picking him up and Felicia clapping. This ends with Mary Jane in the black cat suit. You guys see I'm smiling because, hey. And she's looking for Felicia. And somebody's in the other room says, "Hey, MJ, we need to talk. Also, what are you wearing?" And I think that's Jeanette, Ben Reilly's girlfriend, with the drive. I think. And I have the Black Cat edition one, Black Cat Mary Jane edition one that I'm going to read as well. I really like this. I really like this edition. I really like that Peter's coming back. Again, I missed out on the first 74 editions. I personally don't like where they're taking Ben Reilly, but I know where they're taking Ben Reilly. I think we all do. Ben Reilly is being created to be controlled, or is being used by Beyond to be controlled. They don't want him free thinking, and within the next 6 issues or whatever, it's ending next month, the end of March. I'm sorry. There's going to be a clash between him and Peter. There's going to be something that crazy happens. And we know that something does because we've seen the preview of how the Amazing Spider-Man in April starts. I have this odd feeling Peter's coming back and he's going to kill Ben, because Ben is going to be brainwashed like no other. They really messed up, or they did it on purpose, that they couldn't walk it back, and they destroyed Ben's memory completely. In regards to personal feelings, in regards to personal memories, and so on. So that's where I'm at with that. I'm glad to see Peter back up at it. I'm also excited to read this Mary Jane and Black Cat. I will let you guys know how that one goes. I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you guys are reading this, because I think the ending of this is going to be really good. For me personally, it's been really rough from 76 and up. 87 was great to see Peter getting back at it, because I've been waiting for them to do that, and it's cool to see that Ben is now like lost. He doesn't know anything outside of the bad guy's name. Because if he can't remember, with great power comes great responsibility, the most infamous quote that was engraved in every Spider-Man's head, something's happening. And I think Beyond has weaponized him completely. So let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what you guys thought. If you guys read this, if you plan on reading this, I enjoyed it. I'm not sure when 88 comes out. It's either next week or in 2 weeks. Stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for the Black Cat Mary Jane edition 1 review. Talk to you guys later.